Pay close attention now, because what you're about to discover could completely change the future of your hip. Most people think osteoarthritis is something that only happens to old age, that it's luck, that if it shows up, there's nothing you can do. But there is a specific reason why some people develop the condition and others don't, even when they're the same age. I'm going to show you the 5 main causes of hip osteoarthritis that almost no one explains properly. And more importantly, I'll show you what you can do to protect yourself. Because when you understand what really causes the problem, you realize there's much more you can do than you were told. Ignoring this means leaving your joint to chance. Let's get straight to the point. If you already feel your hip locking up from time to time, if you notice that certain movements hurt more than they used to, if you're afraid that one day this could get worse and prevent you from living normally, then you need to know what's happening inside your body. Because osteoarthritis doesn't appear overnight, it settles in gradually, silently. And when you finally notice it, the damage is already done. But it doesn't have to be that way. The first thing you need to understand is that there's an internal protective system in the hip that most people completely ignore. Inside the joint, there's a layer that works as both a cushion and a lubricant. When this protection starts to fail, the cartilage is left exposed, without nutrition, without defense. And that's when degeneration begins. Everyone focuses on cartilage, but the problem starts earlier, much earlier. The second cause has to do with something silent that's happening inside your hip right now. Low-grade chronic inflammation. You don't even realize you're inflamed. There's no fever, no visible redness. But internally, the joint is being constantly attacked by substances that slowly destroy tissue. It corrodes cartilage the way rust corrodes metal, slowly, but non-stop. The third cause is something you do every day without thinking. Climbing stairs, walking, standing up from a chair. Every movement puts pressure on the hip, and when the joint lacks proper cushioning, every step becomes a small trauma. Repeated thousands of times a day, for years, this causes destruction. The problem isn't movement, it's moving without proper protection. Now here's a cause that surprises many people. Cartilage dehydration. Drinking 3 liters of water a day doesn't solve it. Cartilage needs a specific type of hydration that comes from inside the joint itself. When it loses this hydration, it becomes brittle, cracked, fragile, like a dry sponge that crumbles at the slightest touch. And the 5th cause completes the cycle of destruction. Lack of cellular nutrition. Cartilage has no blood vessels. It depends on the surrounding fluid to receive oxygen and nutrients. When that fluid fails, cartilage cells literally starve to death. Now pay attention, because this is where everything becomes clear. These 5 causes seem different, but they all share a common root. And that's why treating them separately never truly works. When they come together, the hip enters a vicious cycle. Protection fails. Inflammation increases. Overload causes more damage. Cartilage dehydrates. Cells die. And everything worsens faster and faster. You try stretching, it helps a little. You take anti-inflammatories. The effect wears off. You rest. Stiffness gets worse. You try to move more. It hurts too much. Nothing seems to work because nothing is addressing the root. And what is the root? Let me ask you something. If osteoarthritis were caused only by age and joint use, why are there people in their 80s with perfect hips? And why are some people in their 50s already suffering from advanced osteoarthritis? Science has finally found the answer. Harvard researchers studied thousands of ancient skeletons, people who lived centuries ago. They walked long distances every day. They squatted, carried heavy loads, and worked hard from childhood. Scientists expected to find destroyed hips, but they found the opposite. Most skeletons had healthy, well-preserved joints. If it were just about use, they should have been ruined. But they weren't. The conclusion was clear. Osteoarthritis is not caused by natural wear and tear alone. There's another factor at play, and that factor is the loss of a protective substance inside the joint. Think of it this way. Inside the hip, there's a space filled with a protective gel. Scientists call it joint gel. This gel has three essential functions. First, it lubricates the cartilage so the bones glide smoothly without friction. Second, it acts as a shock absorber, cushioning the impact of every movement. Third, it nourishes the cartilage, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the cells. When you're young, this gel is thick, dense, and healthy. But after the age of 30, you begin to lose a substance called hyaluronan. This is what keeps the joint gel thick. Each molecule can absorb up to 1,000 times its weight in water. Scientists call hyaluronan the guardian of the joints. Lose hyaluronan and the gel dries out. It becomes thin, weak, and all 5 of those causes appear as a consequence. Internal protection fails. Inflammation invades without a barrier. Overload causes damage because there's no cushioning. Cartilage dehydrates because the gel can't retain water. And cells starve because the gel can no longer nourish them. Everything collapses from there. And do you know why glucosamine and chondroitin don't work? Because they try to fix the cartilage while completely ignoring the joint gel. It's like repairing the roof while the foundation of the house is sinking. Now there's a fascinating story that changes everything. In a remote mountain village in Japan called Yuzurihara, people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s work all day in the fields, squatting, carrying weight, constantly moving their hips. And do you know what scientists discovered? None of them have osteoarthritis. Researchers investigated and found something in their daily diet that keeps the joint gel dense and functional, something that protects the hip even under heavy use. But what exactly? And how could someone access that? Today, there's a natural approach based on this discovery. It works on 3 levels. First, it helps restore lost hyaluronan, thickening the joint gel again. Second, it fights the chronic inflammation attacking the hip. Third, it supports the body in producing this protection continuously. Studies show that when you act at this level, all 5 causes of osteoarthritis are addressed at the same time, because you're working at the root. But don't be fooled. This isn't instant. The body needs time to rebuild what was lost over years. Those who quit in the first month never see results. The difference between those who develop osteoarthritis and those who don't comes down to one choice: act now or wait until it's too late. What truly protects your joints is rarely talked about openly. Below this video, I've left a link that takes you to the next step. There, you'll discover the dietary secret used by populations who live for decades without osteoarthritis, even while doing heavy labor, how to thicken your joint gel naturally without relying on medications or invasive procedures. Click the link in the description of this video and see how it works. Your hip is not doomed. It's simply asking for the right kind of support, and now you know exactly what it needs.